The long title of the statute, Places of Worship Act, Special Provisions 1991, states, and I quote, an act to prohibit conversion of any place of worship and to provide for the maintenance of religious character of any place of worship as it existed on the 15th day of August 1947 and for matters connected therewith or incidental thereto. So essentially, this statute aims to preserve the character of a place of worship as it existed on 15th August 1947. The act was brought by the then Congress led Prime Minister P.V. Narasimha Rao in July 1991, at a time when the Ram Janbhoomi movement was gaining some momentum. The then Home Minister S.B. Chavan had urged in the Indian Parliament that this bill should be adopted to prevent any new controversies from arising in respect of conversion of any place of worship. The bill was only discussed on three occasions and was passed by the then ruling government with a view to promote harmony and love amongst communities. And the cutoff date was arbitrarily determined as 15th August 1947. And the rationale that the parliamentarians from the Congress party gave, that was that upon independence, India emerged as a modern, democratic, sovereign state, thrusting back such barbarity into past once and for all, right? So essentially they just said that on 15th August we awakened to some new sort of India, and claiming or reclaiming any structure or as a place of worship will actually be some sort of barbarity, right? India, for the parliamentarians, as they explained the rationale, was supposed to be a state with no official religion, which gives rights to all equal communities. And this I would like to point out, Shreyaji, was the biggest irony, right? And I'll explain how and why. The then Union Home Minister also said, and I quote, that the God resides in heart of a person and not in a temple or mosque, and our allegiance should only be to our constitution and love for the unity of the country. So essentially, what this act did was take away the rights of Indic communities under the garb of secularism. Now you tell me, how many cases have there been there where remnants of non-Indic places of worship were found beneath Indic structures? Not many. Zero, perhaps. It is history. Invasion and colonialism by invaders from non-Indic faiths destroyed Indic structures. Hence, the only ones who are losing here are the believers of Indic faith, whose temples have been destroyed without any recourse. In the case of like passing of this statute, no person of the Indic faith, who were the biggest stakeholders, were consulted, and thereby came into existence a statute that blatantly discriminates against a community.
And a statute which essentially asks a particular community to give up all its rights and to forget its entire past, whatever hurt has been caused to it, everything. They're just asked to forget that from August 15, 1947, you are just supposed to behave as if nothing has happened, nothing has been lost. But one more very interesting thing over here is that it is said in Islam that a Muslim, the belief is that a Muslim is so pak, so pure. He can sit anywhere. He can sit on, he can sit in a mosque. He can sit anywhere at all. He can sit on Gurgaon roads. He can sit anywhere and he can demand to, go out and say his prayers. And the prayer will reach Allah, right? But that is not the belief of Hindus. How Hindus function is very different. Hindus have deities, and deities have rights. There's a whole pran pratishthan process in which life is supposed to be invoked and brought into the idol. So that idol, thereon, it has rights of its own, it has a place of its own, it has everything. So this whole contrast is again very very interesting in how, despite these differences in beliefs, and despite the fact that these two communities, very very different communities, are to be treated equally, then why is the the why is the faith of a particular community not being respected or being asked to be compromised upon. That's quite shocking. Anyhow,
Yeah,
moving
I
on.
think coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think first is as you rightly mentioned, uh, our religion when it comes to place of worship is very different. I think there has been a case law also that specifically says as mosque is only a place of gathering. It's not construed as a place of worship. However, when you look at the Place of Worship Act, places of worship does include mosque, right? So there is that. The second point is that the arbitrarily choosing 15th August date. I mean, if the British colonizers were the only ones destroying our place of worship, I could have understood the rationale behind 15th August 1947, and I could have still understood why that's the case. But our temples have been vandalized way back in 10th 11th century, right? So how do you establish, or how do you say that 10th 11th century destruction is fine, and now we have completely transformed come independence, and now we need to forget all of that? So that was very arbitrary. No rational was, or a convincing rationale was provided in that regard. And I think yeah, as you also mentioned about deities, for us Hindus, we can't just pick our, or remove deities from one place to the other. It's a we believe, our faith expects that life is invoked into the deity, and it's only through a particular procedure that a deity must also be shifted from one place to other. And for us temples, that's why hold a lot of significance, perhaps which assumes a lot of relevance here. And yes, when all communities are equal, no reason why secularism should only discriminate against Indic faiths.
Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.